So today I'm going to do a quick spoiler-free review of A Kiss of Shadows by Laurell K Hamilton. I'll put the cover up over here. Okay, so first of all, this is an erotica. It is a heat level 5, meaning there is lots of sex. It is an adult, erotic, urban fantasy. If you're not an adult, and if you don't like a lot of sex in your books, avoid Laurell K Hamilton. The series, especially, would not be for you if you don't like Heat Level 5. But if you do like Heat Level 5, and you do like paranormal romance, definitely check it out. This has a lot of, magic sex, royal politics, some weird stuff, and more sex. Not all the scenes are full-on sex. Some of it is making out or getting close, etc. But still, there are some sexy scenes. There is details. They're not overly explicit. They're not extreme. But they're good. I like it. Most fan fictions are Heat Level 5 if they're good writers, so there you are. But, this being a whole novel and everything, it actually has a good, decent plot to it. I like when there's more plot and the romance, the real romance. I would say trigger warning. Chapters 1 through 4 mention abuse and rape. Also, chapters 5 and 6 are the actual rape scene. You can skip chapters 5 and 6 to avoid reading that scene and not lose too much plot. Chapter 7 is where she's talking to the police after the fact and mentions another rape situation, a more severe situation with severe aftermath. I don't think that you would lose too much plot if you skip chapter 7 also. So if you want to avoid the whole rape situation, you could skip 5, 6, and 7 and still know the plot of the book. I would say that Laurell K Hamilton did a good job of approaching the whole situation. She approached it with a very healing as possible, however you feel is valid, and you can take back control of your life. I appreciated that that was the approach that she took. Genre and descriptives. Magic realism, urban fantasy, paranormal romance, erotica. Premise, the blurb. Mary Gentry, princess of the High Court of Fairy, is posing as a human in Los Angeles, working as a private investigator specializing in supernatural crime, but now the Queen's assassin has been dispatched to fetch her, whether she likes it or not. Suddenly, Mary finds herself a pawn in her dreaded aunt's plans. The job that awaits her, enjoy the constant company of the most beautiful immortal men in the world, the reward, the crown, and the opportunity to continue to live, the penalty for failure, death. One thing that I've noticed that I don't like with most romance books is that the blurb on the back gives away too much of the plot. Now, granted, everybody always assumes romance means that there's not much plot, but no, there is. And, I don't know, it just gives too much of it away sometimes. So, pretty much when I read romance, I try not to read the blurb first. I'll go in not knowing. I kind of prefer that. At least that's what I think I'm going to try to do. I don't know for sure yet. But anyways, just a little, mini rant thing there, complaint. Okay, so, what I loved about A Kiss of Shadows was the fierce main character. Mary Gentry is very strong character, good mind about her, and just a fierce, good character. I loved the character dynamics in this, like between Mary and her boss, Jeremy Gray. That was pretty cool. And even with the others, I didn't really hate any of the characters. I mean, like, sure, I didn't like her cousin Prince so much, but, like, I could get where he's coming from, although he was a dick. I also liked the royal politics, the fairy royal court politics in this. That was kind of cool. Then we were introduced to a lot of characters to flesh out this world, which I liked that. I liked that there were a bunch of different characters, and it made me, like, kind of wonder, okay, what's their backstory? What are they about, So I liked that. We were also introduced to a good handful of different species in this, because they had, like, humans, fairies, ogres, goblins, demi-fae, night flyer, night hag. I'm sure there's probably a couple others that I can't think of. Plus there were different, like, groups in this, like the Slog, the Cid, the Seelie Court, the Unseelie Court, which I'm still a little confused why they are separate. Like, do the king and queen not like each other, or what? I don't know. So I'm confused there, why it's like that, but sure, we go with it. Let's see what else. Okay, so with most stories, one way, I don't know, it's not the hero journey, but, like, I've read different things about writing, and one of the things that I noticed was where they had, like, the main character's normal world, and an inciting event, something that happens, sometimes a journey to take them from the normal world to this new world. And with this, I felt that the time spent on each of those chunks was appropriate. Like, it was done well balanced. And especially since at the end she returns to her normal world, but with changes, so it becomes her new normal world. So, I liked that. What I didn't like? Nothing. I loved this. I definitely continue to plan I definitely plan to continue the series. In fact, I just had bought book 9 not too long ago, earlier this month, and I've only read book 1, but, like, I knew I'm gonna like it, so I'm like, I'm getting book 9. I already have 1 through 8 that I picked up at the thrift store, so. Reading habits that I learned about myself while reading this. I read slowly. Like, I kind of already knew that, but, like, that's okay. I figured out that with the way that I annotate and the way that I read, that it took me, like, 5 minutes per page, because, like, I'll read it and then I'll write about it, We'll get into that in a minute. So it took 1,671 minutes, or 27.85 hours, for me to read a 469-page book. I had started it back in April, on April 9th, and I finished it on September 22nd. I haven't really checked, but I think I read physical books slower than ebooks. I'm not sure. I'd have to figure that one out, but I think so. I did annotate it in color code a lot, which I enjoyed that process. And I found that when the scenes were, like, really exciting, that I would pull myself out of the scene, pull myself back from the book, and write, my reaction to it, write it down in the notebook, what was happening, and that excited, oh my god feeling, I was able to extend that for a few more minutes by taking myself out of the book. Not all the way, but like stop reading and write down, oh my god, this just happened, kind of thing. I think that if I were to try to actually vlog while I read, then instead of writing down, I'd be like talking to you guys, like, oh my god, this just happened, kind of thing, you know. I may try to do that at some point. I'm, like I've said before, haven't gotten comfortable vlogging while reading yet. But anyhow, I did, while I was reading those exciting parts, draw myself out of it and write it down. And I seen that as a positive for myself because I was able to extend that excited feeling for a few more minutes, you know. I created these like little index cards that I have the character cards that I have like the character name, or the book name, and I'm supposed to write the page number. So book name, page number, character name, character physical description, no. Well, in the name I'll like write down who they are, like if it's the aunt of so-and-so, you know, the aunt of main character and such. And the physical description, the backstory, and the character arc. I created the cards, but I didn't completely fill them all the way in, like I didn't write down the character description so much. I figure I'll do that on the second read, as I reread and commonplace it more. But during my first read of it, I did create most of the character cards. I know I missed a few. Another thing that I learned about myself was that I prefer romance at a heat level 5. I've read some at like heat level 1, 2, and 3 before, and I'm like, where's the lovin'? You know, I need more. So now I know I prefer heat level 4 and 5. Like, this is what I was looking for in romance, what I expected romance to be. So now I know that about myself. I do intend to reread it and commonplace it some more by, like, the quotes that I like, write it down onto a card. I'm starting, part of my annotation process, that new step that I've started is that I want to make a chapter card so that I can actually write, like, what happened in that chapter, who did we meet in that chapter, etc. So that I have more info behind me to tell you about it. So after I commonplace it, I'll try to put together a spoiler-filled review as well. I started the House of Doors and started the process of doing a chapter card, a chapter quote, and on the chapter card I'll put like one word to describe that chapter, and then I might like turn that into a video. Like, you know, the House of Doors described in 40 some odd words, you know. I had that idea, so you can look forward to that, hopefully, as I go along. If you like paranormal romance, if you like Heat Level 5, definitely check out this series, Mary Gentry series, A Kiss of Shadows by Laurell K Hamilton. I'm going to be continuing the series as well. I have more videos to film today, so I'm going to do that. Anywho, I think that's all I need to say for this video. Here's my pop. I don't even know where I left it. And the... Five and skip. Genre and descriptions. Descriptives.